if you go and look at the introduction to James Baldwin's The Price of the Ticket, he talks about the issue of Italian American, Irish American. At a certain point, they weren't considered white. And then there are actually court cases where then they became white. But the part of the price of becoming white was becoming white. And everything that goes with becoming white, which was to lose your history, which was to lose your culture, and which was to ascend to a system of racial hierarchies and supremacy. So to me, that's part of the thing that goes on. I just want to throw it up into everybody. I mean, Vince asked why, Manny asked why, why are these stereotypes? I wonder if any of you want to answer that question in any way you want to.
I mean, really, I like what Manny said. I think the why is exactly what Manny said. There's a want to unmelt yourself, right? There's a desire to go back to where you were full in your ethnic culture, right? And to see us, or to see indigenous people, living, a variation of our contemporary self, or our historic selves. I think is really inviting. I have to say. I mean, there is such a blandness to our national culture as Americans. Very much. What is white culture? Hockey games and TV sitcoms. But for me, living as an urban Indian, there is so much more. Right? There is an incredible amount of our contemporary and historic selves all over the city. And it is maybe a bit of our responsibility to continually fight against the melting of ourselves, right? Because once we do that, then for us, if we're no longer Indians, right? If we're just brown Americans, then the U.S. government no longer has to adhere, like they adhere anyway, but they no longer have to adhere to our treaty rights, right? And that's a very important thing, right? We are the stewards of this land, right? We are the people, right? This is our place before, swindled away 150 years ago, right? But these are our things, and our history goes well before our interactions with the Spanish, the French, and the English, right? The history of us is, in the water that we come from, and our ancestors in the sky. These are our places. My grandmother, Blanche, and my mom, they always talk about everybody's from somewhere, but for us, we can go to the exact place where we come from, and that's an important thing. And I tend to overwrite about that because it is. I feel lucky to be indigenous. I feel lucky, even though we are constantly being devoured and stuff like that. I am 1%. What are you saying? Single race Indians? That's me, right? Like my dad's from South Carolina, my mom's from North Dakota. I really feel like there is a want and desire to reach out to beyond your melt. That's what I feel. I really feel there's, because there's all those feathers and stuff, and you guys talk other words, and there's all this really cool stuff that you guys do, and so there's that. That's what I feel like it is. If I stop talking, that would be great.
There's a fear. There's a fear of talking about racism. There's a fear of, like putting it on yourself and saying, okay, it's me that, that it's. So it's always this thing of saying, no, this is not me, it's not personally, and feeling like hurt and that kind of stuff. So people don't even want to talk about what does it mean to be white, or what does it mean to be American or a US person, because there is that thing, it's like we were saying, either you are this or you are that, either you are like a native person or you are an immigrant from someplace else, but the majority of people here, they cannot get the roots to where they belong. They cannot say, oh, you know, my ancestors came from such and such a place. And even if they do, they don't want to talk about it. It's like, so I think it is that kind of not wanting to think about it. So it's much easier to, like what Manny was saying, oh, I'm going to take, you know, this person and I'm going to be like the Latinos and enjoy their cultural events and things like this, instead of really saying, okay, where is it that I come from and who am I and where am I going? I think that that's one of the places where it comes from.
I think that consumer culture is not satisfying, and as Americans, we are led to believe that it is about material objects, and I think that people know they don't have a soul, that you can't find yourself through objects, you can't find yourself through relationship with inanimate products that you purchased. And the way that our society is ordered around money and consumerism, there's got to be something else. And I think that the humanity part in every person knows that there are essential elements to being alive, to being human, that need to be met. And when you are disconnected from your ancestors and your understanding of how you came to be in the world, yeah, you are going to look around and try to figure that out. And if you don't have a system for appreciation and understanding, or a personal concept of true honor, yeah, maybe you'll steal some shit. And you'll steal things that speak to your soul in some way, but you don't understand, but you don't actually want to try to investigate that. And I think that looking at how to undo that is an important piece to stop cultural appropriation and start cultural appreciation. Then you can find the things in your culture and lineage that enliven you and make you human again. And and again, I think of our worlds divided through this worldview concept, and with the majority of mainstream America being socialized through a very strict concept of Christianity, which cuts your head off from your body. Obviously, your biology is revolting against that. Your sense for wanting to connect physically, to connect in relationship, those things are calling deeply in every cell of your body. And if you don't have that ability to stop and self-evaluate and know, why are these longing, where are they coming from, then yeah, you will make very unfortunate choices that end up having such terrible repercussions on people who don't have the privilege to be able to control their image in the way that the dominant society is able to subjugate and control others.
Mm-hmm.